MindsEye is a complete disaster. It's an unplayable, buggy mess. It doesn't even honestly deserve to be called Concord 2. It's so bad, PlayStation had to refund people. Imagine PlayStation or any AAA gaming company giving people money back. That is insanity. That is something unhonestly almost precedented. But PlayStation has had to do this twice in a single year now. Gaming is definitely on the brim of something, and that's probably not good. And for the roughly, I don't know, maybe 5 people who are gonna be like, no, actually, MindsEye is still really good. People like it. No, my dear sweet summer child, people do not like MindsEye. 99% of the human population have spoken, and they have said MindsEye is complete and utter garbage. Okay? And don't worry. So, we sometimes all have lapses in taste. And liking MindsEye is definitely a severe lap in taste. But in any case, oh man, I don't know about you, but I am here for the fire.
All right, guys. So MindsEye is a video game that just recently released, and this video game was made by or headed, I should say, by a developer that came from Rockstar North, and it's a video game that a lot of people just can't help but compare to Grand Theft Auto for a multitude of reasons, right? Just semi-similar gameplay
Mainly because they wanted to become the new GTA.
in terms of overall presentation, and obviously the person being from Rockstar North just didn't help the situation. Well, I have an insane amount of information that I have to deliver to you in today's video about MindsEye. This game is getting destroyed in so many different ways, I can't even keep up at this point. The developers have admitted recently that the game has challenges. And I think that's the PR way of saying the game is screwed. But the game has challenges. And the sad thing is that they announced major changes coming in a new hotfix, but that's not really the saddest thing out of all of this. The game has a roadmap, and you're probably thinking,
Major changes in a hotfix. Bro, why couldn't we just get an actual game instead of a hotfix? Why does every game nowadays have to be complete trash and unplayable on launch, and then there's like a day 0 patch, day 1 patch, and day 0+3 patch? Why do we need all of this? Why can't we just have a game that's functioning on day 1? How about finally selling a finished product?
to yourself, well, the game has a roadmap. That means they're going to be, getting you excited for upcoming content that's coming.
Listen, there's 2 kinds of roadmaps in the world. There's Diablo 4 having a roadmap, and it being the most saddest thing ever because they are just desperate to keep players at least somewhat engaged, because Diablo 4 is currently dying the worst death of them all. A death of apathy. But no one even cares to talk about it. I haven't even found a Diablo video in like weeks at this point. It's crazy, honestly. And then you have good roadmaps, like Lost Ark before it became bad. Roadmaps that get people excited, get people pumped for playing the game because they know stuff that they wanted, that they deserve, is coming up soon. There's only 2 kinds of roadmaps, and sadly, I haven't seen the roadmap, but I think we all know which kind of roadmap MindsEye is gonna get.
Coming out soon. How do they plan to support the game? Whatever the case may be. No, the roadmap actually is not for content. This is probably one of the first games that I've ever seen where the roadmap is actually to fix the game. They have a roadmap that is going to address bugs and performance issues.
Breaking new grounds, boys. At least they're pioneers in something.
I don't even know where to even begin with this video.
Listen, even Fallout 76 didn't have a roadmap to fix bugs.
So before we get into a special shout out to the 89,800 of you that subscribe to the channel right now,
Subscribe.
consider hitting
Like
that
the
subscribe. I would
video.
greatly
Do
appreciate
it.
it. Let's get to 90,000 that are not subscribed. Just hit that sub button if you enjoy the content. All right, let's get into it. So MindsEye revealed that they have a roadmap to go over and address bugs and performance issues for this particular video game. Build a Rocket Boy apologized for the performance
Again, Build a Rocket Boys, probably one of the dumbest company names I have ever seen in my life, okay? Magic the Gathering Arena players have more creative usernames than this company has a company name. And that's saying something because there's not a lot of creativity in Magic the Gathering, okay? I'm not gonna lie, boys. I'm spewing facts here. But this is just worse. Also, this is hilarious.
Challenges and announce a hot fix that fixes some of the issues and is scheduled to be released by the end of the week. The developers aren't done there. Ooh, as two more updates are coming before the end of the month. The second MindsEye
Wow.
hotfix is scheduled to go live during the week of June 16, and the third hotfix is expected to arrive by the end of June for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Now, they have a crazy list of issues that is plaguing this game. I have personally played this game. You can go watch my live streams that are available
Game about pretty much driving cars most of the time at this point. Wheels not spinning bug.
for free right now on Hypnotic Live going over the game. When I tell you this game is buggy, I'm not telling you enough. Sincerely, the game is beyond buggy. I experienced a mission where I was driving through the desert and out of nowhere, there was vehicles that started driving themselves off the cliff. The AI was so wonky. The AI was so sick of being in the game that they were all literally committing suicide. And I am not kidding. There was NPCs that were killing themselves off the cliff and just exploding in their cars. And I was watching the chaos happen as I was actually trying to do
Damn.
whatever the hell the mission was. And it was not part of the mission for any of that to be happening. At first, I thought it was, but it wasn't. So this game is insanely buggy. It's not even funny, and it's pretty damn terribly presented. And the sad thing is that it has a lot of potential, but I go over that in my live stream so you could go watch it. So they have a roadmap for fixes. And I've never seen this before. Usually a roadmap means that they're going to be putting out content you can be excited about. But no, it's a roadmap to say, hey, we plan to fix this game in the next, few weeks to a month. We plan to fix it. Trust us, bro. Everything will be fine. Well, everything's not fine. If you go over the Steam DB, I mean, these numbers
Like, what's the point of fixing this? The problem with this game is not that it's a buggy, unplayable mess. It's the fact that no one cares even if it's not a buggy, unplayable mess.
are astronomical.
Saying that the bugs will fix this situation is the same as saying, oh, if the combat in Dragon Age the Veil God was slightly better, it would have been a success. Now, yeah, maybe you're gonna get this much new players. Maybe this number is gonna increase by a whopping 12 or whatever. But it's not gonna save it, okay?
Terrible. This is the first time I'm looking at these numbers.
At this moment, PlayStation is most likely just trying to fight off Steam, saying, okay, we're gonna issue a refund now.
I have never seen these numbers. I honestly forgot to look at these numbers because I was too busy looking at Stellar Blade. And when I saw these numbers, there are 507 people playing right now. There is 804 people playing from a 24-hour peak and an all-time peak of 3,300 players 2 days ago. That means the majority of the players over 2 days have decided to give up on the game. How are you at 3,300 2 days ago?
We just get to add one more of the games that died day one.
The game's not that short, right? So you mean to tell me that most of the people abandoned the game and now you're only at a 24-hour peak of 804 players because the game is that buggy. The game is that messy. This is bad. This is bad from a studio. This is their first game that they've been working on for years. And it's not like they
Well, let's hope it's also their last game.
have unexperienced people. They have a former Rockstar North executive working on this game. How is this even possible is beyond me. This game is cooked, and don't even try to sell me the notion of, oh, the game is doing better on consoles. Don't sell me that. Stop it. Please stop it. So let's go over the story now because
The cope surrounding these games and fans, I don't understand this, okay? You like a game, that's fine, but this is a new game. Why the hell are you tying your whole goddamn personality around the existence of this? Why do you feel the need to go in my comment section and everyone's comment section on Steam forums, on Reddit, and everywhere, and say, no, actually, MindsEye is way better than you guys think. Just give it a shot, okay? Again, this is as pathetic as Starfield's, oh no, you need to get the new game +4 and 40 hours in, and then the game truly unlocks and becomes really good. Never again. Never again.
This is pretty bad. This is where it gets interesting. So apparently you guys clicked the title of this video because it's true. It's not false. This is absolutely true. MindsEye is getting the cyberpunk treatment. This is how bad the game is. If you don't want to believe me about how buggy this game is, let me bring you
Oh.
back to the release of Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk was released on
You know what's the best part, honestly, about this? This game doesn't even have 30K sales, most likely. This game has maybe 15K sales, maybe 20K at the utmost maximum. And I have never been wrong about this, okay? We predicted Concord, we predicted Veilguard, we predicted Assassin's Creed Shadows. We have predicted a lot. I honestly should write down all the names of the stuff that I predict correctly because the list just keeps growing. The list. And when I first said that I predicted this, people, I said only 2 names, and people were like snarky. Oh, you predicted 2? Shut up, loser! No one cares about your opinion. You're literally in my comment sections. Get a life.
So let's go over the story now because this is pretty bad. This is where it gets interesting. So apparently you guys clicked the title of this video because it's true. It's not false. This is absolutely true. MindsEye is getting the cyberpunk treatment.
I just clicked on it because I saw the word Mind's Eye and a congregation of bad.
This is how bad the game is. If you don't want to believe me about how buggy this game is, let me bring you back to the release of Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk was released on consoles, the previous generation of consoles, the PS4 especially, was having.
You know what was the difference between Mind's Eye and Cyberpunk 2077? At least Cyberpunk had a possibility to succeed. At least that game could have been fun.
Such drastic issues that Sony actually pulled it from the PlayStation Store and was offering refunds because how bad the game was. Well, apparently, they're doing the same exact thing with this particular video game. MindsEye is getting the cyberpunk treatment, and PlayStation is issuing refunds for the game. We have literally come full circle and repeated history. MindsEye, okay, let's go down. Thanks to the gamer, we have seen 2 examples of PlayStation issuing refunds for MindsEye. The first example comes from the r/MindsEye subreddit, where a user has posted.
And by the way, expect worse things to come because keep in mind, this chief financial officer abandoned ship. You don't get the accountants and chief financial officers and whatnot abandoning ship unless it's really bad. Because keep in mind, those are the positions where no one gives a shit if a game collapses. Because if you're working for a company like that when the game collapses, that actually kind of looks good on your resume as someone who deals with money. Because you got some amazing stories how you kept the ship afloat financially while everyone around you was trying to sabotage. Like, okay? In the world of finance, breaking companies, if you're not the CEO of it, is pretty good on average. It can be very, very useful.
Their conversation with PlayStation support. In their request for a refund, the user mentioned that the game is advertised on the official PlayStation launch trailer with 60 FPS footage as Pro Enhanced, but that's incorrect. PlayStation acknowledged that the problem, stating they are aware of the issues regarding the optimizations for MindsEye and are currently investigating the issue. In the meantime, they had processed a refund request for the customer. If you scroll down, they also, Wolfgang posted a similar exchange on X. Wolfgang's post only includes a response from PlayStation, which stated they are usually.
God, I love the fact that people are now issuing refunds. I mean, for the longest time period, this has only caught up in the last couple of years, by the way. The vast majority of people did not want to deal with getting refunds. But nowadays, people are refunding. If someone buys Mind's Eye and it's trash, people are gonna press the refund button if they can on it.
not allowed to offer refunds for games purchased from the PlayStation Store, but that they will make an exception for the user. PlayStation understands that the user is facing issues with the game even after troubleshooting and is refunding MindsEye as a goodwill gesture for their account. This is only going to get
Damn.
worse. This is going to get to the point where now the game is going to be pulled completely from PlayStation stores. It's only a matter of time because the game was advertised at 60 FPS. And to my knowledge, regardless of whatever console you're playing on, MindsEye is restricted to 30 FPS. It's locked at 30 FPS to my knowledge. So they advertised 60 and they locked it to 30. That is a big problem, right? You cannot do that. But this is the worst problem of it all. If you want to know how bad MindsEye is actually doing, there was a streamer that, oh, this is bad, okay? There was a streamer in a sponsored stream, by the way, which means that MindsEye wanted this game to be played on their stream so that everybody could see it, you know, and they paid the person for him, right? The Twitch streamer Cole Carnage revealed that he was actually asked, right as he was about to play it, he was asked to not play the game by the actual developers. This is terrible. I'm going to play the video for you. Let me switch over the screen.
That is hilarious.
I'm going to play the video so you can see just how ridiculous this actually is. Let's check it out. Here we go.
Eventually, I think. So for the first time in my streaming career, I changed my title for a sponsored stream. I put in the profile button. I put in the command. That was at 8 o'clock sharp. My sponsored stream was supposed to start at 8. I opened up MindsEye, and as it was loading, my management contacted me and said, the sponsor does not want to do this right now. They would like to reschedule. And I said,
Wild.
oh, that's a first. Like, all right. So the sponsor decided not to do the sponsorship for now. And honestly, again, fully transparent and honest, it sounds like for MindsEye, that was the right decision.
Okay, so this streamer, right? This is insane. I gotta process this because this streamer, I have never seen this happen where the sponsor decides, you know what? Let's not do the sponsor stream because that's how bad the game actually is. I'm telling you, it is.
Yeah, and again, we are past the point where all PR is good PR. Nowadays, good PR is good PR, bad PR is bad PR. We are back to normalcy.
Terrible. So if you don't believe me, why don't you just go believe the sponsor? Because they didn't even want their game showcased. And this is why, me personally, I have never and will never take a sponsor because I want to give my full honest opinion with no restrictions from any company whatsoever. I rather just avoid the sponsors, be fan funded, and at this
My soul, on the other hand, is for a lot of sales, okay? You can fight over it if you please.
point, I could just, because imagine if I had planned everything and said, I want to stream MindsEye so that the people who are looking to see if the game is worth it or not will have the information readily available. Imagine me setting all of that up and then saying, oh, I can't do it because the company told me I can't do it.
Damn.
This is why I refuse to do sponsored streams. There is way too much power that you're giving companies over your content and your stream. But I get it. Not everybody's the same way. I understand people love taking sponsors. It's a lot of easy money. They feel like they have access, blah, 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 whatever. Perfectly fine. At this point, this is the biggest obvious red flag for MindsEye. Forget the fact of all the other red flags that we've seen between the CFO leaving and the legal team leaving.
Oh boy.
Besides all of that, all those red flags that people in the comments were telling me to ignore. By the way, I had...
Yeah, there's so many people that just trying to fight and say that MindsEye is good. It has to be bots. It has to be some kind of, I don't know, paid shill company or something like that. Because when a disaster strikes this much, there are people in the comments that are saying, "Oh no, the game is the game's actually good." But they are saying it in, your typical. The game's actually good, you loser. You have absolutely no clue what you're talking about. Did you even play the game? You're absolutely talentless, and stuff like that. They take it very personally. But these people who are calling MindsEye good currently are like, are you even real? I don't think you're real. You don't look real. You don't feel real. You're just like, oh, give it a shot. That doesn't sound legit, even for an insane individual.
So many comments on my Mind's Eye video, my red flag video, where I tried to warn people that pre-order the game, and I was like, hey, maybe don't pre-order the game, maybe wait a little bit because there's so many red flags on the field right now. I had so many comments. I had more comments on my videos over the last few weeks than the concurrent players on Steam right now. So that tells me that there are people out there that were shilling for the game simply because of whatever small modicum of a connection to Grand Theft Auto that it had, which is, by the way, not much, okay? Just because it was a former Rockstar North executive doesn't mean a damn thing. But again, people did every kind of shilling they possibly could.
People always do. Anyway, that's a 10 out of 10. That was Hypnotic. Bye.